in this best of 3 in the Archon of the Hill, King of the Hill, however you want to refer to it, Archon Showmatches. Basically, lots of best of 3s going on. Every best of 3, the winner gets $50 for their team. The losers walk away with 20, so nobody walks away today empty-handed. Spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, though, it's going to be Team Light Pink Archon, made up of Zervas and QueenE, both from Mindsanity.
The top left as the Terran Red Archon, it's uThermal and Jona.
And Milk and Cookies has a question for you in chat. Says, I wonder if Zombie will realize that whenever I donate here, I also donate to her as well.
Yes, but it takes like 4 minutes for it to get to my email or something, so I always check, and then I have to check again later. So thank you, as it did just arrive.
And I'm just talking to Fantasy. So I think we're going to have to put a pause. Oh, this will be so awkward. We either have to do... I guess tell me what you want more. We either have to do Fantasy and Violet through replays, because they have to play after this, or we can swap to that temporarily and grab whatever Archon mode match is, but that means the other 3 Archon mode matches will have to all be replays. I think it might be better just to grab Fantasy and Violet from replays. What are your thoughts?
It sounds more convenient, even though that's a matchup I'm pretty hyped about.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like it's not like it'll be spoiled for us, right? Because I mean,
replays just aren't the same, Rifkin.
They're just not the same.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, I've thought about it. Doesn't make any sense, but it still just doesn't feel the same.
All right, here, I'm gonna put the camera on you for a sec while I talk to these two about it. Okay, so.
Okay.
There you go. Have at her.
Thanks. Well, alright, so we had Iron Fortress not vetoed, but I guess there was a TVZ guarantee, basically, even though Red Archon was kind of being kind of cheeky with whether or not they had chosen their race. They obviously chose Terran. And as such, Iron Fortress not so bad. Reasons why it's, you know, for Protoss, basically, is the third is pretty far away. Kind of still worrisome for Terran, but much easier, you know, it can move about more if you keep the Hellions alive, then that's no problem, really, to defend against it, against Lings. You can place a bunker there, consolidate Marines. There's a ton more options, and trying to warp in at a pylon at your third while it's building, you're gonna die. Because then, of course, in Legacy of the Void, you take more damage when warping in. Just a very quick third CC from Red Archon, and a starport as well. Very close to the rocks. Gotta say it's probably for Banshees. I mean, they did that last game, right? Yeah, last game. That's why they did so much return damage. Were able to really just like, yeah, I'm gonna win this game, you know, after they killed so many drones in return. So probably hoping that it's gonna have similar effects. It's gonna be very good for defense. It's gonna be able to provide that harass, and maybe it'll actually kill something. Maybe. I think Zervas is the one that's macroing, and QueenE's the one that's microing. I think that's the better way to go, honestly, just because, you know, QueenE's not Zerg. And she could probably, you know, move Ravagers, am I right?
Yeah, totally right. Sorry, I'm back. Alright, so I got it set up. They're gonna go play their best of 3 as soon as possible, and we'll just have to grab the replays for later.
Okay.
Well, that was not getting up that ramp, though.
I thought this was gonna be for defensive, you know, against the Hellions, defending their third. And they tried to attack, and I'm just wondering why.
It seemed really, yeah, like the SVs had already been pulled. There's nothing really gained from that other than just losing the Lings, and by doing so it gives up a lot of map control potentially. So I'm not too sure about that choice either.
It's probably Zervas shouting, "No, don't do it! No, stop!"
Are you pulling a Rifkin right now? Are you giving away all our units for free? Just stop.
Really? Are you real? Well. Banshees are on the way, Cloak's on the way. The Queens haven't really been touched. You know, it's one thing you can do with the Hellions as well if you're not going to be able to kill anything else, is just to do a little bit of damage to them. Spore Claw is being placed down. As we leave the Ling saw the starport, it was right there on the wall. Not too bad for Red Archon. These are where those 20 Lings that had died would be really handy, you know. The Queens actually might not be able to deal with this. Ooh. Cloak's not done, so okay, they're going to be fine. Alright. That was a little worrisome, you know, Overseer wasn't there. If there was Cloak, the Banshee could have just stayed on one of the Queens and just, you know, probably killed one before this Overseer was finished.
Yeah, there was an attempt to counterattack across the map too, but sadly didn't get a chance to get a lot done there.
Yeah, well, they secured the third. Soon Red Archon will have to think about securing their own third against Lings and will eventually be Mutas.
I guess this map is a little bit funky because you got these side paths and so many open entrances. It's not going to be really easy for either player with Terran or Zerg to just completely wall themselves in, so to speak. I mean, for Zerg, you don't really make wall-offs anyways, but that creep spread is going to be more important than ever just to see the attacks coming from what is like 5 or 7 different openings. Red Archon is going to try and wall off, and that's not so bad of a move, but eventually you get to a point where you're going to have to wall off here, and over here, and in the middle, and it's going to be way too difficult to do all that.
I guess that Bailing Nest was actually pretty late. If there was a Hellbats push, they might have gotten a little bit wrecked. Lucky them or wasn't, and they could have been a little bit greedier. They're up to only like 59 drones. They just lost one here. I guess they're only on 3 bases, you know, and only recently, so that's probably pretty good. A 4th base, unfortunately for them, will have to be on the other side of a big gap, making it really awkward to secure. But we have Hellions going into the 3rd. And they roast and toast most of those drones. Oh my god, going down to 45 drones. Quick and easy.
Yeah, 21 go down total. Yikes.
He does lose the Hellions, whereas, you know, versus Ling Bling Muta, Hellbats are actually kind of good. I mean, they can soak Baneling hits, and it's actually kind of useful. So they did give away something for those drones, but I certainly think it was worth it.
Sorry for the wonderful contribution here at the casting, but I'm sorry, I'm still trying to babysit them. Neither of them know the English names of the new maps, so they don't know what to veto. Because for those who don't know, the HOTS matches we're trying to throw today are supposed to be specifically on the new maps for WCS Season 2, so everyone can get a look at them before the qualifiers begin. It is a little bit late to release them so close to the qualifiers, but so everyone's fully aware, because we are going to be doing like 10 or 8 days, whatever, qualifiers straight here in BaseTradeTV. The WCS qualifiers are not playing on Overgrowth or any of the current maps. It's the next season, Season 2 of WCS. But it's Baneling sneaking in. I mean, this is kind of what we're talking about before too. There's multiple attacks paths you got to look out for, and 7-something Banelings can certainly kill a whole line of SCVs, no problem.
Yes, they can. Want to wall off the back there anyways, as your forces will be rallying to the front. It's really the back that you got to worry about. Oh, they are trying to. Adding another engineering bay, it seems unnecessary, but it's gonna work. I mean, almost.
It's cheaper than a Rax, and it's got way more health than a depot. So it's as crazy as it is. I guess in terms of making a sturdy wall, it kind of works.
Well, a wall is only as strong as its weakest. Fuck, I completely messed up.
You're just like, no, I give up.
I can't do
it. Just bail on it.
But seriously, a wall is only as strong as its weakest link, you know? So, okay, you have an engineering, but you also have like 3 supply depots. Like, which one am I gonna break?
I know, I'm just saying, like, it's not the worst use of minerals. It's only 25 more or whatever, right? Like, ooh. If they lose this game because they were like only able to build half of an SCV in a base trade, then I will eat my cardboard hat, you know?
Or the Mutas take down one of the engineering bays that are producing, so he's like, oh, I have a backup one, don't worry.
Thank God. It's like that game where Young had like 4 engineering bays, the 2 in the wall, and then he built 2 real ones after.
Nice live turret, by the way. I think that's pretty good.
Little Mine's also going to be a bit of a problem, but they do get down, so Muta's going to become limited in what they can do. I mean, it's the Ace Smash, right? And I know both teams really want to win this, but I definitely like the map control. I love the creep spread. I love just it feels like dominance coming at a team like Pink Archon, but can they start dealing with the rest? Now that Red Archon's finally got an army supply up, now that they're starting to drop, you know, it's really finally drawn thin. Zervas is finding these marine splits so perfectly. The Mutas are barely trading out with those medevacs. Banelings can't really connect to anything here. In the meantime, there's a big attack on the 4th.
Now that is cleaned up rather nicely. Kind of, well, maybe not. Slings may be able to do it. Can't be sure, but
no, they're not even gonna collaborate. Are you for real? Medevacs, please. So ghosty.
All right. But the Mutas are on the way now, and they. Oh man, no, the Marines. I don't know where those Marines came from, but they can like, geez, okay, they're not gonna be able to clean that up. They need to make more Banelings, like Zervas.
Well, right now, a lot of that money's going to upgrades. It was going to getting that hive tech out as quick as possible. Maybe the eyes were on the Ultralisks rather than the mid game. And I'm not sure if that's the case. And if it is, maybe then Crack Legs and maybe then Ultras are better. But they have to live to that point, right? Drones getting caught in the transfer. Marines for coming across the map. This Widow Mine's going to be burrowing too. It'd be so difficult to take engagements here.
So Red Archon has not started their 2-2. That is a little worrying, but their force is rather strong. It's on.
It's kind of all in almost.
Yeah, well, they're getting a 4th base, so it's not even that. They just simply forgot.
I don't know. Do they have? They might have an armor, but they do have armor. Because hell, that's right. So you're right. They may have just actually been fully sympathetic. But it's not a bad thing because they are pushing their advantage with this 1-1. 2-2 might finish up, but it doesn't give them. It's not like Zerglings versus Zealots here. 2-2's gonna help out a little bit, but friendly fire.
I mean, they're down by 40 supply. It really does feel like Pink Archon is gonna lose this game. I'm just wondering, you know, what happens?
You know what? They're doing it without OP Cyclones, am I right?
But I do, like, I know Zervas told you that you could make, you know, Banelings, right? Like, he was in control of that, and I just wonder if QueenE didn't make enough Banelings. You know, maybe these drops would have been cleaned up easier if they were Banelings rolling in as opposed to all these Lings. If, I don't know, they certainly are banking a lot of gas, but is that just because they lost so many drones? I mean, they were only on like 55 or 60.
No, I really think a lot of this was going towards whatever's coming out of Hive Tech, you know, and it's now they find themselves forced to make only Lings. It's all they can really afford to do.
It's just that, you know, yeah, going to Hive Tech really is quite dangerous, you know, but it was a matter of 50 supply, not like 20 or 30 that you're behind on. So I get a feel like it's the drone count. You know, every time I looked at it, it was like 55 or 60, and I was like, this doesn't seem that right. Even if you did take maybe a later 3rd and a later 4th, but now they're down by half the supply of Red Archon. They're down 3 bases.
Yo, one thing I want to do is probably later today, if not tomorrow, go through the VOD on QueenE's stream and just kind of listen to what was going through their minds while this was going on, talking to each other, trying to figure out like what was going on, who's panicking when. But this does look like it's pretty much over. The supply count's way too small. These Lings just been given away. Even if he could make them into Banelings, there's just not enough of them at this point. And it looks like Jona and uThermal going to take this series and go on to fight against Arium and Intense. Actually, it's not Arium, it's right here to be replaced. So Intense and I think Poke Bunny or somebody?
Well, it's probably TBT.
Either way, Team Light Pink Archon, they get $20 for losing on top of the $50 they already won from beating us earlier. So $70 for them is not too bad for a couple of Archon mode matches. GG. I never know if Zervas is being sarcastic or not. I can't tell that guy. But cool. All right, so another best of 3 wrapped up. Now, to explain what we were talking about and why there was a little bit of confusion